first time I saw him, his build was just perfect. And of course, then he went to school with my son over at Fayetteville High. And so I'd watched him, in other words, since he was a pup, just growing up.
Coach Mack, even still to this day, that's like a father figure. Some of my earliest memories are from me playing on his mats, the high jump mat or the pole vault mat. When I was a kid, watching my dad run or the team run. And I always grew up and said I wanted to be an Olympian.
He really set the mark for Fayetteville. You know, that was my first year coming in here, and then having Wallace as a senior was amazing for me as a coach, and then having a team like we did that first year. And you know, Wallace kind of set the standard for a lot of players to follow him.
I mean, well, everything honestly started here. I mean, Fayetteville gave me my big break.
Wallace was very confident, I'll call it, a lot of times. You know, he knew that he was going to win, and having Cedric Logan right behind him, we were going to finish in the two of the top three, 1-2 in most events because of the speed.
You have to have confidence in an individual sport because it's you against the world. I made 2 Olympic teams and racing anyone from Tyson Gay to Usain Bolt, Asafa Powell, some of the greatest athletes, track and field athletes to ever step foot on this earth.
And this was probably when I realized that Wallace was a cut above. You had to finish in the top 8 to make to the finals for the state meet the following week. And he slipped out of the blocks. I mean, he actually fell down in the 100. And everybody else was at least 10, 15 yards in front of him. And we said, well, he's not going to make the finals, which would be a shame. But he got up, and not only did he catch everybody, he beat everybody in the 100 to make to the finals. And it was unbelievable. And that was when you started seeing glimpses of what he could be after high school.
He had the cool approach. Nothing rattled him at all. He was a man when he was still a boy, you know, the way he thought.
As a senior in high school, I rode down to Austin, Texas to meet with Coach Bubba, and I asked him, can I join his track and field program? And he told me he knew my father, but I wasn't good enough to even walk on to their school. So I walked on for Coach Mack, and he told me, we'll take care of you. Don't worry, things will be fine. If you do what you're supposed to do, you'll be just fine. And I just wanted to, you know, represent for my city, my state, and everyone in my family, everyone around me. So that meant a lot to me. I tried to work twice as hard as anyone on the team. Being from Fayetteville and being one of the first kids from Fayetteville to actually go there and win nationals and set a collegiate record, American record, to get to run for Coach Mack, I think that meant a lot more to me than a lot of people.
He wasn't intimidated by anybody. You know, no matter where the athlete was ranked in the world, he'd go after him and take him down. It's something you can't coach. You know, the smarts to make the moves at the right time and to be not intimidated.
Coach Brumman and Coach McDonald always told us that the great ones love an audience. So if you put me on a big stage, that's when I felt like I was at my best, and that's what I love to do.
You know, a sprinter usually don't last that long, but Wallace took care of himself and had a real prosperous career, you know.
He didn't forget where he came from, and would always, in interviews, would say stuff about Fayetteville High School, the Razorbacks, and make sure those two were always mentioned when he was on the big stage.
Well, you know the type of athlete he was, world class. Sure. Well, he was a better person than that. He was a great, great human being.
I had a coach and he told me that youth is wasted on the young. And I had no idea what that meant, but I get it now. So when I was young, things just came easy and almost to a fault. I went out there and worked, and good things just happened. And as you get older, good things still happen, but you have to put a lot more work into it. It makes you respect it a lot more.